Welcome to Daily Stoic Habits. If you're ready to transform your life with timeless wisdom and modern simplicity, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to join our journey. Imagine a life where chaos fades, clarity reigns, and every day feels purposeful. How do you get there? By blending the ancient art of Stoicism with the sleek, intentional vibe of modern minimalism. Today, we're diving into the heart of Stoicism, its roots, its heroes, and the principles that can anchor you in any storm. This is the first step in a three-part series where we'll connect Stoicism's grit, minimalism's elegance, and their shared power to help you live with unshakable calm. Ready? Let's roll. Picture a bustling Roman marketplace, dust swirling, merchants shouting, and in the midst of it all, a man sits quietly, scribbling thoughts that would echo through centuries. That's Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's greatest voices. Born in 121 AD, he wasn't just a philosopher, he was an emperor wrestling with war, betrayal, and the weight of an empire. Yet, his private journal, later called Meditations, is a raw, honest guide to staying steady. Then there's Seneca, a sharp-witted advisor to Nero, who faced exile and death threats, but still wrote letters urging us to master our minds. And don't forget Epictetus, a former slave-turned-teacher, whose words cut through excuses like a blade. These three didn't just preach Stoicism, they lived it, proving its strength in the messiest of times. So, what's Stoicism all about? It's not about shutting down emotions or pretending life's easy. It's about focus. Stoics teach us to zero in on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, and let go of the rest. Traffic jams, can't control that. Your attitude in the car, that's all you. This principle hits hard. Life throws curveballs, but you decide how to swing. Another core idea is accepting what you can't change. Death, loss, failure, they're part of the deal. Fighting them wastes energy. Instead, Stoics say, embrace reality and move forward. It's like standing in a rainstorm and choosing to dance instead of curse the sky. Living rationally is the final piece. Stoics aren't chasing fleeting pleasures or dodging pain. They aim for virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. Sound old school? Maybe, but think about it. Making decisions with a clear head, not swayed by impulsiveness or fear, is timeless. Marcus didn't just rule an empire, he ruled himself. Reflecting nightly on his choices, Seneca faced political traps but stayed true to his values. Epictetus, with nothing but his mind, taught freedom comes from within. Their lives weren't perfect, but they were deliberate. These ideas aren't dusty relics, they're tools for today. Imagine Marcus pausing before a tough decision, asking, what's in my control? That's you, navigating a stressful job or a family argument. Seneca's calm in exile. That's you, finding peace in a chaotic world. Epictetus's defiance as a slave. That's you, choosing strength over victimhood. Stoicism's power lies in its simplicity. It's practical, not theoretical. It's about showing up every day with intention. That's the foundation we're building on. In the next videos, we'll explore how minimalism strips away the noise and amplifies Stoicism's clarity. Then tie it all together to craft a life of purpose. For now, let's start small. Reflect tonight on one thing you can control and one thing you need to let go. Imagine a world where empires rise and fall, yet a few minds cut through the chaos with razor-sharp clarity. That's where Stoicism was born. Ancient Greece and Rome, a time of war, politics, and uncertainty. Not so different from today. In this first part, we're diving deep into Stoicism's roots, its legendary thinkers, and the principles that can steady you in any storm. We'll explore the lives of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, unpack their core ideas, and see how they walk the talk. Let's jump in. Stoicism kicked off around 300 BC with Zeno of Citium, a merchant who lost everything in a shipwreck and found wisdom instead. Sitting in Athens, he began teaching a philosophy of resilience, one that spread like wildfire through the Roman Empire. By the time it reached its peak, three giants carried the torch: Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Each came from wildly different worlds, yet their ideas wove a common thread: live well. No matter what life throws at you. First, there's Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor from 121 to 180 AD. Picture him, ruler of a sprawling empire, facing invasions, plagues, and betrayal, yet stealing moments to jot down reflections in his tent by candlelight. His meditations wasn't meant for us, it was his private journal, a raw dialogue with himself about staying grounded. He wrestled with power's temptations, reminding himself to be just, humble, and calm. His life was a high-stakes test of Stoicism, balancing the crown's weight with a philosopher's heart. Then there's Seneca, a brilliant writer and advisor to Emperor Nero, born around 04 BC. He climbed Rome's political ladder, amassing wealth and influence, but it wasn't all smooth. Exiled for years, later forced to take his own life, Seneca faced the kind of drama that would break most. Yet his letters, sharp and timeless, urge us to master our emotions and live with purpose. He didn't just preach. He grappled with his own flaws, owning his contradictions while striving for better. Epictetus, born around 50 AD, brings a different flavor. A former slave, he endured physical hardship and zero control over his early life. Freed later, he became a teacher whose words hit like a hammer. His discourses and maturity are blunt, life stuff. But your mind is yours. Epictetus taught from a small school. No fancy titles, just raw wisdom. His story screams resilience proof. You don't need status to live with dignity. So, what ties these men together? Stoicism's core principles. Starting with this, focus on what you can control. Life's a whirlwind weather, other people's choices, random setbacks, but you can control your thoughts, actions, and reactions. Marcus, ruling an empire, couldn't stop rebellions, but he could choose patience over rage. Seneca, in exile, couldn't change his banishment, but he could write, reflect, and grow. Epictetus, enslaved, had no power over his body, but his mind, untouchable. This idea is gold. Why waste energy on what's out of reach? Focus on your response. You're free. Next, Stoics lean into accepting what can't be changed. Death, loss, failure, they're not optional. Fighting them is like yelling at a storm to stop. Instead, embrace reality. Marcus faced his own mortality daily, writing, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do. Seneca, staring down Nero's death sentence, stayed composed, choosing to exit on his terms. Epictetus taught that suffering comes not from events, but from resisting them. Acceptance isn't weakness, it's strength. Ever tried letting go of a grudge? That's the Stoic move: peace through surrender. Finally, live rationally. Stoics chase virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance over fleeting pleasures or pain avoidance. It's about aligning your choices with reason, not impulse. Marcus reflected nightly, asking if he'd been just. Seneca, navigating Rome's snake pit, aimed to advise with integrity. Epictetus urged students to pause before acting, to check if their choices serve their higher self. Rational living sounds stiff, but it's practical. Think clearly, act deliberately, sleep better. Their lives bring these ideas to life. Take Marcus, under pressure as emperor. One day, facing a rebellion, he could have lashed out. Instead, he wrote, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. That's control, choosing character over chaos. Seneca, exiled to a barren island, didn't sulk. He studied, wrote, and returned sharper, his letters later guiding millions. Epictetus, beaten as a slave, refused to let bitterness win. He later taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Their struggles weren't hypothetical, they were real, messy, and human. These principles aren't locked in ancient Rome. They're for you, now, stuck in traffic. You can't move the cars, but you can breathe, put on a podcast, and stay calm. Facing a tough diagnosis, you can't rewrite the test results, but you can choose how to move forward with grit, not despair. rationality. It's pausing before snapping at a coworker, asking, is this worth my peace? Stoicism's power is its simplicity. It works. Whether you're an emperor or just trying to get through Monday as we head to the next part, we'll see how minimalism builds on this foundation, stripping away distractions to amplify Stoic clarity. For now, try this tonight. Reflect on one thing you can control and one thing you need to accept. Jot it down. How does it shift your perspective? Picture your life as a crowded canvas, splattered with too many colors, too many shapes, until you can't see the art anymore. Now imagine wiping it clean, leaving only the strokes that matter. That's modern minimalism, a way of living that cuts through the clutter to reveal what's essential. In this second part, we're diving into what minimalism means, where it came from, how to practice it, and why it's a quiet revolution in a world obsessed with more. We'll unpack its roots, explore practical steps like decluttering, prioritizing values, and managing time, and see how it challenges today's consumer frenzy. Let's dive in. Minimalism, at its heart, is about intention. It's not just owning less or living in a bare apartment, it's choosing what adds value and letting go of what doesn't. Think of it as curating your life like a museum, keeping only the pieces that tell your story. The term minimalism first emerged in the 1960s art scene, with artists like Agnes Martin and Frank Stella creating stark, powerful works that ditched ornament for essence. Their clean lines and empty spaces forced you to feel the art's weight, not just admire its surface. By the early 2000s, this idea jumped from canvas to lifestyle, driven by blogs, books, and a growing itch to escape the rat race. People were buried in stuff, debt, and stress, and minimalism offered a way out. But the concept isn't new. Rewind to ancient traditions. Zen Buddhists sat in sparse temples, seeking clarity through simplicity. The Shakers crafted furniture so pure it still inspires designers today. Even Thoreau, holed up at Walden Pond, was chasing the same vibe, strip life to its core to find meaning. Modern minimalism pulls from these threads, but fits our chaotic world. It's not about rejecting everything. It's about asking, what do I need to thrive? For some, that's 20 possessions. For others, it's 200. The point is purpose, not deprivation. So, how do you practice it? First, tackle the physical. Decluttering is your entry point, like clearing fog from a window. Walk through your home, pick up each item, and ask, does this serve me? That shirt you haven't worn in years, the kitchen gadget collecting dust. Be ruthless but kind. Donate, sell, or recycle what doesn't belong. This isn't about creating a showroom. It's about a space that breathes. Research shows clutter spikes cortisol, muddling your focus and mood. One woman I read about slashed her belongings by half and said her home felt like a sanctuary, not a storage unit. She saved time cleaning, money on upkeep, and mental energy for what mattered. Decluttering goes beyond stuff at your schedule. 2. Ever feel like you're sprinting through a day that's all noise, no signal? Minimalists master time by saying no. No to draining obligations, mindless scrolling, or packed calendars that leave you hollow. Instead, they protect time for what aligns with their core values. Maybe it's cooking with family, diving into a passion project, or just sitting still. The 80-20 rule helps here. 80% of your joy comes from 20% of your activities. Find that 20% and guard it fiercely. One guy I heard about quit 3 side hustles to focus on his art. His income dipped, but his life got richer. What could you cut to make room for you? Then there's the mental game. Minimalism asks you to anchor in your values, connection, growth, creativity, whatever drives you. Once you know them, decisions get clearer. Skip the flashy car, freedom's your thing. Invest in experiences instead. Ignore trends if they don't serve your purpose. It's like tuning out a noisy crowd to hear your own voice. This focus cuts the mental clutter of comparison and FOMO. A minimalist might pass on the latest tech not to be frugal, but because they'd rather spend on a trip that lingers in their soul. Ever felt lighter after unfollowing a feed that made you feel less? That's the vibe. Now, let's talk impact. We live in a consumer world when ads flashing, influencers flexing, algorithms nudging you to buy. The average person's home holds thousands of items, yet studies link excess stuff to anxiety, debt, and even depression. In the US, storage units are a $40 billion industry. People literally pay to stash what they don't need. Minimalism pushes back. It's not loud or preachy. It's a choice to say, I'm enough. By owning less, you spend less, stress less, and free up resources for what lasts: a conversation, a skill, a quiet morning. One study found minimalists report higher life satisfaction, not because they're zen, but because they're deliberate. This isn't without pushback. Some call minimalism a privilege, arguing not everyone can choose less when they're scraping by. It's a valid critique. Poverty isn't optional. But minimalism isn't just sleek lofts and tiny houses. It's mindset. A single parent might organize their kitchen to save 10 minutes a day for their kids. A student might limit notifications to study without distraction. It's about control, not wealth. In a society hooked on consumption, choosing less is radical. Why do you think decluttering videos rack up millions of views? People crave the calm of less. Minimalism's rise taps a deeper ache. Surrounded by pings, deadlines, and pressure, we're drowning in excess stuff, tasks, noise. Minimalism offers a lifeline, not by escaping life, but by reshaping it. It's why Marie Kondo's spark joy mantra hit so hard. It's not about tossing stuff. It's about claiming your space, time, and mind. Your version of minimalism might mean a shelf of beloved books or a single plant in a sunny corner. It's not a contest. It's a choice. What's one thing in your life that feels heavy right now? As we head to the final part, we'll tie minimalism to Stoicism, showing how they amplify each other to build a life of purpose and peace. For now, try this. Pick one area: your desk, your phone, your to-do list, and remove one thing that doesn't belong. Notice the shift. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this going. Imagine your life as a river, swift and clear, flowing toward what truly matters. Now picture Stoicism and minimalism as two currents merging to guide that river, carving a path through the noise of modern life. In this final part, we're exploring how these philosophies intertwine, sharing a focus on essence, shedding excess, and living with purpose. We'll see how to blend them in daily decisions, money, emotions, habits, and uncover the peace, freedom, and meaning they unlock. Let's dive into this powerful convergence at their core. Stoicism and minimalism are like old friends with the same mission: strip away the fluff to reveal what's real. Stoicism, born in ancient Greece and Rome, urges you to focus on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, choices, and let go of the rest. Minimalism, a modern movement with roots in art and ancient simplicity, pushes you to keep only what serves your values. Whether it's a possession, a task, or a thought, both zero in on the essentials. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius wrote of ignoring distractions to live virtuously. Minimalists declutter their homes to make room for joy. Both say, cut the noise, find the signal. Ever felt overwhelmed by choices, then found clarity by simplifying? That's the shared heartbeat of these ideas. They also agree on ditching the superfluous. Stoicism teaches you to release worries about things beyond your reach, other people's opinions, random setbacks. Minimalism echoes this, asking you to shed physical and mental clutter, from overstuffed closets to overpacked schedules. It's about subtraction for addition, less baggage, more freedom, and both aim for a life of meaning. Stoics chase virtue, wisdom, courage, justice over fleeting pleasures. Minimalists prioritize experiences and values over stuff. Together, they ask, what makes your life worth living? It's not the shiny car or the endless scroll list of moments that feel true. So, how do you weave these philosophies into everyday life? Let's start with money. Stoicism says focus on what's in your control: your spending, saving, and attitude toward wealth. Seneca, despite his riches, warned against letting money rule your peace. Minimalism aligns here, urging you to buy only what aligns with your values. Imagine facing a tempting sale, A Stoic pauses, asking, do I need this, or am I chasing a feeling? A minimalist checks if the item sparks joy or just adds clutter. Together, they guide you to spend intentionally, maybe skipping the gadget to fund a trip that builds memories. One guy I read about slashed his budget by half, using Stoic discipline to ignore ads and minimalist clarity to prioritize experiences. He felt richer with less. Managing emotions is another place they shine. Stoicism's core is mastering your reactions. Epictetus said, it's not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Lost your job, you can't undo it, but you can choose resilience over despair. Minimalism supports this by clearing mental clutter. A packed schedule or constant notifications amplifies stress. Trimming them gives your mind space to process. Picture a bad day. A Stoic reflects, I can't control my boss's mood, but I can stay calm. A minimalist might unplug from social media to avoid comparison traps. Together, they're a powerhouse. Try this. Next time you're upset, take a Stoic breath. Name what you can control. Then use minimalist simplicity to eliminate one distraction. Notice the calm that follows. Building habits is where they cement lasting change. Stoicism loves routines that train virtue. Marcus journaled nightly to stay grounded. Minimalism loves systems that simplify. Think meal prepping to save time. Combine them, you get intentional habits that stick. Want to exercise? A Stoic commits, saying, I control my effort, not my mood. A minimalist clears their space, keeping only running shoes and a yoga mat to reduce friction. One woman I heard about built a morning routine, blending Stoic reflection, 5 minutes of gratitude, with minimalist efficiency. No phone until noon. Her days felt purposeful, not rushed. Start small, pick one habit, use Stoic discipline to show up, and minimalist focus to keep it simple. The benefits of this fusion are profound. First, peace. Stoicism's acceptance of life's ups and downs, paired with minimalism's uncluttered spaces, creates a calm that's hard to shake. Studies show simplified environments lower stress, while Stoic practices like negative visualization, imagining worst-case scenarios, build emotional resilience. Together, they're like armor for your soul. Ever walked into a tidy room and felt your shoulders drop? Add Stoic clarity, and that peace runs deeper. Then there's mental freedom. Stoicism frees you from obsessing over what you can't control, other people's approval. Random setbacks. Minimalism frees you from the weight of excess stuff, commitments, noise. Combined, they lift a burden you didn't know you carried. A minimalist who sold half his possessions said it felt like shedding chains. A Stoic who stopped chasing validation said it was like breathing for the first time. Freedom isn't just time or money, it's a mind unhooked from society's treadmill. Finally, meaning. Stoicism's pursuit of virtue, and minimalism's focus on values aligned to make every day feel purposeful. You're not drifting through life, chasing the next shiny thing. You're building something real: relationships, skills, moments that linger. One study found people who live intentionally, whether through Stoic reflection or minimalist choices, report higher life satisfaction. It's not about having it all. It's about loving what you have. What would your life feel like if every choice reflected your deepest values? This blend isn't a quick fix. It's a practice. Messy and human. Some days, you'll overspend or snap at someone. That's okay. Stoicism reminds you to learn, not dwell. Minimalism keeps your slate clean to try again. Critics might say it's too idealistic, that not everyone can simplify or stay Stoic in a tough world. Fair, but these ideas scale. A busy parent might use Stoic focus to handle stress and minimalist tricks to streamline chores. A student might combine them to study smarter, not harder. It's about progress, not perfection. As we wrap this series, think of Stoicism and minimalism as tools in your pocket, ready for any challenge. They don't erase life's mess, they help you navigate it with grace. Try this today. Make one decision with Stoic control and minimalist clarity. Maybe it's skipping an impulse buy or pausing before reacting. We've journeyed through Stoicism's timeless wisdom, minimalism's sleek simplicity, and their powerful fusion a roadmap to a life of clarity and purpose. Picture yourself standing at a crossroads, one path cluttered with noise, the other clear, leading to peace. Stoicism teaches you to control what you can, your choices, your reactions while accepting life's twists. Minimalism strips away excess, making room for what matters. Together, they craft a life that's not just lived, but felt deeply. Start small. For Stoicism, try a nightly reflection. What went well? What could be better? Marcus Aurelius did this. To stay grounded, you can too. Journal one thing you control today, one thing you let go. For minimalism, pick a drawer, a corner, or even your phone. Clear one item that doesn't serve you. Notice the space it creates. These steps aren't grand, but they're real. Over time, they build habits that anchor you, whether it's a tough day or a big decision. Ever felt lighter after a small win? That's the spark to chase. The payoff is a quieter mind, a freer spirit, a life aligned with your values. You're not chasing trends or drowning in stuff. You're building meaning. It's a practice, not perfection. Some days you'll stumble. That's okay. Stoicism forgives, minimalism simplifies, and you keep going due to time constraints. We'll stop here. I hope this video has been helpful. If it sparks even a tiny shift for you, I'm truly fulfilled. Save it to your playlist for a revisit anytime. Please like and share. Sometimes a timely message can change a life. And don't forget to subscribe to Daily Stoic Habits and hit the bell for more valuable content. Goodbye, and see you soon.